This is a quick little video how I make a little project box for one of these load meters. This is basically just a much less expensive way of testing, like let's say your battery or loads, and how high can you go and all that. Anyway, so I got this inexpensive box from AliExpress. I've had this load tester for a little while. I made a little template. Then the template, I put a double sticking tape on it, as you can see, okay? And then I cut and drill the holes based on the template. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put that load meter in here. But first I'm going to put these things on, these banana plugins first. When I drill these holes for the banana plugs part, I made the holes just slightly larger so I can orient these and be perfectly straight, because this is actually a four wire load, and it can measure the difference between A plus and B plus and A minus and B minus. And so it's nice to make these holes just a tad bigger. You don't want to make them too loose. And I made also this cutout fairly snug because there isn't much reveal on both sides. As you can see, if you look in the back in here, there's a very, very small amount of space in here between making the hole too big or not big enough. Okay, so rather cut it make these notches a little bit more shallow, and then extend them if you need to. Okay, so now I'm going to tighten up this part here and then flip it over, and I'm going to push in the unit itself. Okay, and since I'm by myself, I don't have anyone to hold my camera, my phone, so I'm going to just stop it and show you how it was put together. And I always secure with a little bit of hot glue around the edges, and that way it's not going to rattle or something, and it'll make it a little bit more secure on top of that. And I'm going to put a little bit of a hot glue also around here, even though those don't need it. So it's up to you which way you're going to do it, but that's what I do. I'm big a fan of this Ryobi hot glue gun. It of course uses the same batteries as on my rest of the Ryobi things, and even though I don't get paid by them, but I like the brand. Anyway, in here I applied some hot glue, and it's gonna cool down after a few minutes, and I'm gonna continue working. You can see I've got them all crimped up now, and they're gonna go in. I'm gonna screw them onto the appropriate pegs over there, or whatever, the bolts. So that was pretty quick. Okay, this is how it looks assembled, at least that part. Now I just have to put inside this box power supply. It's 6 to 15 volts. And then I need to put some labeling up front and a main switch, and it's going to be done. Now I have the front panel done. The only thing I have to do yet, put a main switch over here. This is the input in the back, and there's a fuse there, and then there's also another switch here. I like to have these combos, that way I can for sure have something turned off, the main power coming in. Then these holes here are going to be drilled for ventilation, because up on the top of the lid there are already some slots. So I'll just drill these, and later on I'm gonna affix this adapter that is gonna feed the voltage over here for the unit itself, and then a switch, then wire it up, close it up, and we're gonna be done. When it's done, I'll show it to you also. And here are the vent holes that I drilled in there a few minutes ago. I use this type of a drill bit. Bring it up a little bit. There we go. Because this is usually for sheet metal, but for thin plastic, this really, really works awesome. And then it also bevels the hole if you let it. So that's a really, really cool way of doing it. And as you can see, these holes in here, they look pretty decent. Just vent holes. As you can see, I got now everything wired. This is where the power intake is. There's a switch with a fuse. And here are all the wires that are... yeah, my focusing isn't working today on my camera anyway. And so there's the front switch, and then on the back of here is also this switch, which will be the main switch. And everything is wired, and I just put on the handle, and I'm gonna screw the box together, and it's gonna be done. So here it is assembled, and as you can see, I'm going to try to take a little picture of that. Here is a 18650 battery, and it's on a jig that has the 4-wire reading ability. So there's basically 2 pluses and 2 minuses all the way to the tip of these on the tip of these sensors here on this side and this side, or contacts, I should say. And then in here, when I hit the push button in here, it closes this switch, and then it measures the battery and gives me its values. So it's 3.89 volts, and then the other factors in here. But I'm not going to go into details about that. I just wanted to show that it's up and running, and this project is finished, and hopefully I'll use it for some good again.